Welcome, my dear students of class 10. As the final examination, ICS examination is approaching and it's knocking your door, and I hope you are well completed your maths syllabus. Still, most of the students might have doubts in many topics, and still they want to score full marks, but they are confused how to solve the problems. Let us go with chapter wise in your syllabus and how to score full marks. The full marks is scored not only by intelligent students, it can be scored by any students. कोई भी student intelligent नहीं बनता है. बस कोशिश करिए, मन को संतुलन रखिए, कायम रखिए और सही तरीके से गणित करिए. I am sure, I can assure you, come to my tricks, you can get full marks, I suppose, and best of luck for your coming examination. Let us start with the topic, that is, your first chapter is GST. What is GST? GST is Goods and Service Tax. Actually ये जो GST है, ये पहले भी था. पहले ये VAT के नाम से जाना जाता था, उससे पहले सेल टैक्स के नाम से जाना जाता था. मैं आपको पहली बात ये बताना चाहता हूं कि जो भी टैक्स बनता है हम देखते हैं, what we see that the shopkeeper is taking tax from us, then the wholesaler is taking the tax. We hear number of gossips that all the persons are giving tax, even we are giving tax. My dear, forget everything. Actually, the government is taking tax indirectly from us because we cannot go directly to the government and give the tax. So our tax is being collected and is given step by step. Manufacturer gives tax, but the tax is taken from our pocket. Shopkeeper gives tax, the tax is taken from our pocket. So let me give you an example. Suppose a dealer is selling a good of rupees 1000 and GST is 10%. यहां पर बस आपको परसेंट निकालना ही है, फिर आपको फुल मार्क्स मिलना तो मिलना ही है. जीएसटी 10% बनता है, तो 10% किस पे बनेगा? 1000 रुपीज पे बनेगा. सो जीएसटी इन रुपीज इज इक्वल टू 10% ऑफ 1000. That is equal to rupees 100. So when dealer is selling a good to a shopkeeper, dealer is selling to a shopkeeper with the price of rupees 1000, GST is taken as 10%. That means rupees 100. So how much the shopkeeper has to pay? He has to pay rupees 1000 and he has to pay rupees 100. Now the dealer is charging rupees 100 from the shopkeeper and paying tax to the government. Now what the shopkeeper is paying? Now for shopkeeper, now suppose the shopkeeper is purchasing the good in 1000 rupees and selling the good in rupees 2000. So what is the sale price of a shopkeeper? The sale price of a shopkeeper is 2000. To whom he is selling? He is selling to a customer. He is selling to a customer. GST charged is equal to, it was 10% of 2000. So the shopkeeper is charging GST as rupees 200 from the customer. Now the customer is paying rupees 200 to the shopkeeper. What the shopkeeper has given already tax. This is what, when the shopkeeper is charging this is the output tax. Now already, therefore, already the shopkeeper has paid 100 rupees and he is charging 200 rupees. Here शॉपकीपर क्या कर रहा है, जो 100 रुपीज दे चुका था वो 100 रुपीज यहां से वो अपनी जेब में रख लेगा, तो बनता है कितना, 200 minus 100 रुपीज, सो ही विल ओनली पे रुपीज 100 टू द गवर्नमेंट. नाउ हियर यू कैन राइट एज आउटपुट GST is equal to rupees 200 for shopkeeper. He has paid input GST rupees 100. So he pays as GST is equal to 200 minus 100. Why 200 minus 100? Because already he has paid 100 rupees from his pocket. He has collected 200 rupees from customer. So which he paid 100 rupees from his pocket. He is going to put the same money up with himself, and the rest, that is 200 minus 100, that is equal to rupees 100. He is going to pay to the government. So how much the government has received from the wholesaler? The government has received rupees 100. From the shopkeeper, the government has received 100. So the government has received rupees 200 as GST. My dear, now see, the whole rupees 200 is paid by the customer. So is the customer who pays GST. Now let us go with the variation in GST. Suppose the goods is being transferred from one state to another state, then how the tax is going to get distributed? Suppose the goods are being sold out in the same state, then how the GST is going to be get distributed? Let us try to find it out. Suppose when the goods are being sold out in the same state, that is intrastate, the GST is being divided, the same GST is being divided into two parts. One is CGST, within the same state. The GST which you are getting collected, it will be distributed to CGST and it will distribute to SGST. That is Central Goods Sales Tax and State Goods Sales Tax. Suppose you have collected GST as a percent, 10%, then 5% will get CGST and 5% will be given to SGST. Suppose if it is GST percent is 10%, that means 50% of this, that is 5% will be received by the CGST and 5% will be received by the SGST. So this is distributed if the goods is being sold out within the same state, that is intrastate. Suppose the goods are sold out in other state. Then the whole GST collected will be given to only IGST. Here only if the 10% is collected, if the GST 10% is collected, the whole goes to here as 10%. Okay, only you have to understand this, and rest you can get full marks in this. One more thing I would like to say you, in ICSC there is an MCQ question of 1 mark question comes and 3 to 4 mark question comes. So totally you can get 4 marks from this completely, and without any hesitation you can solve the problem and get full marks, 4 out of 4. It's very easy, very simpler to get full marks from this chapter. Let us go with few problems which I am going to share with you. So the very first chapter, that is GST, of this question, the selling price of a shirt excluding GST is 800. If rate of GST is 12%, then you have to find out the total price. You have to understand the question. Here the selling price is 800, which was not included with GST. This question already appeared in your exam, ICC exam, and this is 1 mark. So how to solve this one? It is just very simple. We write a solution. This is objective question. It comes in this way. It is of 1 mark. Selling price was SP is equal to rupees 800. GST is equal to 12% of 800, which is equals to 96. Therefore, total price will be 800 plus 96 is equal to 896. बस इतना ही करना है कि यहाँ पर देखिए कि किसमें मानेगा 896 है कि नहीं है ये ऑप्शन इज सी राइट हियर ऑप्शन सी सो your final answer is C. Finished. Only simple these 2 steps you have to do and get 1 full marks. I am going to show you one more type of question in GST. My question is in this way. A wristwatch was sold by a wholesaler from Mumbai. Mumbai is in Maharashtra. To a dealer, Indore. Indore is in Madhya Pradesh. That means the goods has been sold from one state to another state for rupees 2,200 or so for rupees 22,000. I'm sorry, for rupees 22,000. That means it is the cost price of the dealer. Now the dealer sold it to an end user in Gwalior, that is in MP. That means the dealer was in MP and the end user was also in MP. Now the transaction is within the state at a profit of rupees 5,000. The rate of GST is given 18%. Now 2 questions are there. Number 1, calculate the net IGST, CGST, SGST payable by the dealer in Indore. And number 2, cost price of the watch for an end user. Now, since the first question is on the base of dealer, so we calculate for dealer. So let us start with solution. Write it here for dealer. Cost price was rupees 22,000. GST is 18%. Now when he is purchasing the good, certainly he has to pay GST. So input GST charged. Input GST is 18% of cost price. $3,960. This is the input GST charged. Now let us calculate the selling price of dealer. So SP of dealer was with 22,000. You have to add 5,000 because he has done the profit rupees 5,000, isn't it? So 22,000 plus 5,000, which is equal to 27,000. Now he is going to sell the good in 27,000. Now GST charged from the end user, that means that is output GST, is equal to 18% of 270. Now on calculation we are getting rupees 4,860. That means this is the GST the dealer has charged from the end user. So now let us make a chart. For dealer, the input charge of the dealer was rupees yeah. Okay, now we have to make chart in this way. So details IGST, CGST, SGST. This we have written for dealer as the question is based on dealer. Now already we have done. First is input tax payable interstate at rupees 22,000. The dealer has purchased the goods at 22,000, so he is going to put the GST, and since the state has been changed, so the tax of GST already we have solved. It is 3960. So input GST is 3960, and since the state has been changed, so it comes under this IGST, that is rupees 3960. Nothing. Now the dealer has already sold, as in the question is given, and we have solved at rupees 27,000, and he has charged GST, that is within the state, and the amount was near about 4860. Now since the GST has been charged 4860, so this will be distributed in CGST and SGST half way. That is half of 4860, that is 2430. That means he has to pay as CGST 2430 and SGST as 2430. If you sum up these two, then you can find out the output GST has charged, that is 4860. Next comes the utilization of ITC. Now already since he has paid 3960, now the goods he is selling in within the state, so he utilized this amount in this two. First he utilized the amount in this, that means he has to pay 2430 and he has already paid 3960. Therefore this minus this we have to do. So in the work you can do the minus. I am doing over here 3960 minus 2430. It is 1530. So this money he utilized in this, that is he will put rupees 2430, and the balance which is left 1530 he will contribute in this. So he has utilized 1530 in this. I hope you have understood. My dear, let me explain you once more. Already he has paid 3960 as IGST, and when he sold the price at 2700, he has collected 4860. This 4860 is within the state, so it has been divided into two parts, that is 2430 and 2430. Since already the dealer has paid 3960, now what he is going to do is he is going to utilize this money in this and this, that is utilization of ITC. So he is utilizing 3660 in this. So when he utilizes this, so this amount gets deducted from this. So balance is nothing over here, and rest whatever the minus we are getting, rest of the money he will utilize in this. So finally we get here 0,0900. So net tax payable, the last chart says that IGST he has to pay nothing. CGST also he has to pay nothing, but SGST he has to pay rupees 900. This is the answer of the very first question. Now the answer of the second question is In the second question, it was given for end user, you have to find out the total cost price. That is, the total cost price means his cost price in plus the GST he has paid. Now